It is week number 14 of the high school football season, and tonight, your defending state champion Chardon Hilltoppers made the short trek down Route 44 to take on the Tornadoes of Dover here on the blue turf of Gilchrist Field at Ravenna Community Bank Stadium here in Ravenna. It is the Ohio High School Athletic Association High School Football Playoffs Round 4, the Division III Region 9 Regional Finals, otherwise known as the State Quarterfinals. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you. And Ryan, tonight, Hilltoppers looking to advance to the state portion of the tournament for the second year in a row, and they've got a very big Dover team.
Yeah, this Dover team is big. You know, they've seen big teams before. You think about Glenville, Akron East, Ursuline. Those were big teams too. So it's not something the Hilltoppers have never seen before. They've got some athletes out there though. Number 9, a safety for Dover. He's a state high jump champion, so he can get up there and cause some trouble in that passing game. So imagine some fun one-on-ones with him and Sulka tonight. So yeah, going to be some interesting stuff to watch. But big team. Hilltoppers have seen it before this year.
The talk between both teams leading up to this week has been physicality. Expect this to be a big bruising game with a lot of big hits. Whoever wins this game is going to go on to the state semifinals, black and blue, but they will at least be moving on. Folks, we invite you to stick around because we've got the game coming up next, but before that, we're going to turn it over to the band right here on GTV.
Yeah. Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Autoglass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Let's welcome back to the field the Chardon Hilltoppers.
And here come your defending state champion, Chardon Hilltoppers. Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you. Ryan, the blue turf, folks. I'm going to warn you, do not change the color of your screens. It is blue.
Yeah, we'll call it Boise blue, I guess, because that's the instant thing it reminds you of is the blue turf out there. But this is an exciting venue. It's become a venue where a lot of great high school football games have been played, and excited to have this one tonight between Chardon and Dover. Matt, as we went through the year and we were watching position, who's going to finish first, who's going to finish second, ultimately, through all that fun we had going through the year, there were two teams that were 1 and 2. They flipped in the middle of the year the whole time, and it was Chardon and Dover. So from the beginning of the year, when you looked at Division III Region 9, these looked like the two best teams in the division on paper, and you get through the playoffs, and here they are. They were, and they will meet each other tonight on the gridiron. This is an exciting night for sure.
It absolutely is. And the Tornadoes, a team that if you would have looked at them a decade or so ago, maybe even a little bit, almost 15, 20 years ago, they were a predominantly passing squad. But oh my, how the times have changed. And they really like to run a lot. They'll mix it up a little bit, but very similar to Chardon in terms of their philosophy.
Yeah, they'll throw a lot. And another thing that's happened is, they've gotten tough. And they're a tough team. They'll play you hard. I mean, one of the things about Division III Region 9, Matt, is you end up in a situation where week after week you're running into each other.
Hilltoppers coming out on the field wearing their black uniforms. That familiar black, the red numbers trimmed in white. Nathan Tagger out to tee it up as they will kick things off here to the crimson and gray of the Dover Tornadoes. Tornadoes tonight, though, wearing their white uniforms with that crimson numbering. They are coached by Hall of Famer Dan Ift. Of course, he was a longtime coach down at Massillon.
Well, he made his way down to Dover. Eventually, he starts to bring in some of that toughness we talked about, where they turn into a hard-nosed running team. Really physical.
So Hilltoppers will be getting this thing going here just momentarily. Unlike last week, the weather will not be a factor. We had the snow last night into this morning. It was a bit windy. That has all calmed down, though. If you look at both goalposts, the flags are limp.
Yeah, so we won't have that wind affecting the kick that we had last week. One thing to watch again, though, is the ability of Chardon to wear down their opponent. This is another week where, once again, the Hilltoppers have the much larger roster out of the two squads and play fewer two-way players.
High kick can be taken near side at the 6, bobbled a little bit by Stevenson. Check that, that's not Stevenson. That's around the 25, up near the 30, making his way out near the 40. Mitchell Martin was the return man. So a very good return for the Tornadoes, and now their offense comes out on the field. We're going to be seeing two quarterbacks tonight. Both seniors, one being T.C. Molk, a senior, 6'0", 170. The other, Aiden Hawley, senior, 6'3", 175 against this Topper defense. Topper's going to be showing Alex McDonald, Michael Washington, Cooper Felger, and Alex Kisley. They'll be rotating in and out on the defensive line. The linebackers, Christian Hall, Heath Fetchick, Brody Dotson, and we'll see some Rocco Perico as well mixed in there. In the secondary, Trey Liebhart, A.J. Bruce, Nathaniel Salka, and Leo Columbi.
Well, I don't know how that happens, Matt, but the game's getting started in Dover. Only had 10 players on the field. Had to take a timeout to get their 11th man on the field. So when you talk about playing a team as good as Chardon, the things you need to do, you don't want to start a game like that after a good return to already have to burn a timeout early.
For the Tornadoes on their offensive line, we're going to be seeing tackle Jason Lurie, guard Simon Lawrence, center Tyler Little, the guard Ryan McVicker, and the other tackle Mike Beal, the tight end David Denny, wide receivers Joey Farthington and Jake Jones. They're going to hand it off. The one man I didn't say, and he's going to be off to the races. One potential man to beat him, it's Liebhart. Liebhart will bring him down. That's Connor McGarry. McGarry leads this team in about every category offensively, and he is down inside the 20 to about the 15. Huge pickup on the first play of the game for Dover.
Liebhart with the big play. Before the game, I talked to our good friend Jay Crone from the News Herald, who covered Dover last week at Kenston. He told me about that particular run play, that every time they ran it, big yards off Kenston. Here they go. First play they call of the game. That run play rips off 40 and gets them inside the red zone.
McGarry, a senior, 5'10", 195. He has gone off for more than 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns. They're going to pitch it coming left side. Farthington trying to make a cut on his feet near the 12 and brought down about the 11. Pickup of about maybe 5 on that one.
Yeah, and you look at Farthington for Dover, obviously big guy. Caused some trouble down there. The high jumper. And you can see that height advantage he has down there on the field.
Going to bring up second down and 6 from the 11 as the Tornadoes get their personnel on the field. Boy, Hilltoppers getting themselves backed into a corner early in this one. Molk from the gun. McGarry to his left. Man going in motion. They're going to fake the handoff and dropped in the backfield. Boy, Michael Washington got in there and made a big tackle.
Well, that defensive line doesn't give up run plays like that very often. They gave up a big one, and Michael Washington comes up, makes a big play to get the stop on that run.
Washington, 22 solo tackles entering this one, make it 23. 3rd down and 10 from the 15. We have seen TC Molk throw the ball. He's 64 of 88 for 707 yards. His number's a little bit comparable in terms of yardage to that of Alex Henry. Molk from the gun, looking to throw, going to go left side to his big man. Ball up in the air, and it's broken up. Leo Columbi.
Yeah, nearly intercepted down there by
Leo Columbi with the with the pass batted away.
Yeah, it was nearly intercepted down there by Leo Columbi. It's good to have a safety like Columbi because Liebhart was able to back off the play and let Columbi come over and play center field, and Columbi was able to knock that one away.
So Lucas Lane will be attempting a field goal. This one's going to be a what? Where are they going to spot that one at?
Let's see. Where they're setting up, I'm going to say.
22?
Yeah, so it's like a 32-yarder.
So Lane with a 32-yard attempt. He is 4 of 5 on the year. That one, did it get through? It did. So the Tornadoes take an early lead in this one with
tonight's special cablecast
10-11 to go. It is Dover 3 and Chardon nothing.
Well, tonight's special cablecast is not funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, but we'd still like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, but more importantly, thanks to all our viewers for their support. Once again, not funded by the cable subscriber franchise fees, but we still want to thank everyone out there.
So the Hilltoppers will be getting the ball for the first time tonight offensively. Lane going to kick this one off. Going to be a short kick coming up, taking it at the 10, up to the 20, 25, 30, to the 40, midfield, to the 40, the 30, and Liebhart knocked out inside the 30. A huge return for the Hilltoppers. Both teams with big returns to start this one.
Yeah, Trey Liebhart comes up and says, hey, you guys get a big return. I could do the same thing. He runs it back. Big play. And, so there you go. And Liebhart gets you in some good position there. So that's what the Hilltoppers will do. So we get a couple of big plays early. You're kind of setting up thinking it's going to be a similar kind of defensive battle to last week against Canfield, and all of a sudden you get some big plays to start the game.
So Henry in the wing tee. Gonna keep it himself, going up the middle. Alex Henry lowering his shoulders across the 20, down near the 15-yard line. Great run by Henry. Let's get you that Chardon starters. First off, it's the offensive line, and these guys deserve a lot of credit for where Chardon's been this year. Adam Jackson, Simon Rodriguez, Aiden Ishii, Logan Bryant, and TJ Altman, the boys up front. Of course, Alex Henry, the QB. Sean Carr, Daniel Pettyjohn, Ryan Peterson, your running backs, Nathaniel Salka, the starting split end. Hilltoppers back at it, 1st and 10 now from the 16. Carr gets it up the middle. Carr down to about the 10, or close there with. Nice pickup by the Toppers on 1st down.
Yeah, good work there by Sean Carr.
Well, Chardon wasting no time doing what they're doing. And folks, as we mentioned in the pregame, expect this to be a bruiser of a battle. And this is where a guy like Sean Carr can really affect his opposition, because he loves that contact, loves to run into people and knock them down. 2nd down and 4. Henry going to keep himself, making a cut right side. Henry toward the end zone, cutting it in. Touchdown, Toppers! Alex Henry, the gutsy run on 2nd and 4 from the 10.
Give Alex Henry a little read, let him pick the zone to run into, and goes off the block from Alex McDonald, runs inside that block. Good work by the tight end to open up a hole, and Alex Henry able to go into the end zone untouched. So nice job by the Hilltoppers to respond with 7. After that big opening return and the big first play, that was a win for the Hilltopper defense to hold it to a field goal, and you come out and you get a touchdown to take the lead. Now
it's time for the PAT. Tagger getting it all lined up. Kick is down, and it is good. So with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter, the Hilltoppers up on top 7-3.
Well, huge thanks to the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club for getting the underwriting for Topper playoff action. GTV's funding can't cover the playoffs for any sport, and as you may have heard, our general funding is under review with the intent to reduce the support we receive, so we really appreciate the underwriters Gridiron obtained so that we could cover this playoff run for you. Underwriting of this nature cannot sustain GTV. We still need the full cable fee paid by our viewers in order to stay on the air and provide the programming we now provide. If our support is reduced by $20,000, as is proposed, you can imagine how much programming will be lost. It's that simple. Less support means less programming of all types. That includes coverage of football, concerts, public events. All could be reduced or eliminated. Well, they will be reduced or eliminated if we lose that funding. So please let your government officials know you want GTV.
So the Hilltoppers with a 7-3 lead. Both teams have come out. We've seen the offenses go to work, and the Hilltoppers just, boy, they did what you expect them to do. They ran the ball well in Dover, confused as to who was going to be getting it. Now that kick going to be fielded about the 3 from the left side. Martin again in a flurry of people out to the, let's say 29-yard line, and that is where the Tornadoes will take over. We saw the defense give up one big play, but then they buckled down. The question is now, can they stop that big play from happening on this drive?
Yeah, that big play was the first play of the game, and, it's the second time the Hilltoppers have fallen behind early in this playoffs as Akron East scored first on them back in the first week of these playoffs. But, you don't expect them to give up that big play again. Hilltoppers do not give up a lot of big plays.
The other QB now in the game, Aiden Hall, who has run for 277 yards, passed for 800. Hall going to hand it off. No, going to keep it himself going left side, and he is brought down for no gain on that one.
Yeah, good work there by Sulka, Matt, because you and I were both following the back thinking the ball was handed off, but Sulka wasn't. He had his eyes on the QB the whole time, and he was able to get in there and get the stop. When you look at the safety position for the Hilltoppers, Leo Colombo's back there playing center field a lot, and Sulka comes up to help in the run game, and there he was to get the stop.
The guy to watch out for on this offense is 9, Joey Farthington, a senior, 6'5", 180. He's going up against A.J. Bruce. They're going to throw it. Pass is caught near side for the first down by Jake Jones, a senior, 6'4", 180. Jones has 3 touchdown receptions on the year, 221 yards to his name, and he moves the chains that time. They didn't have a chance to do much passing last week because of the weather, and they didn't need to. McGarry had a huge night against Kenston.
Yeah, they're throwing the ball a little bit more here all ready to start this week, and that's a similar. We saw Canfield run that route and complete a number of passes there as you get that ball in between the linebackers who are coming up to defend the runs in the secondary, and they get a completion for a first down to move the chains.
Hilltoppers okay giving up some yards here and there, but believe me, if they can make that big play. Hall looking to throw it near side. It is caught again, spinning around 50, some broken tackles, and the Hilltoppers trying to get a strip. No, he will fall ahead for the first down. Jones, 2 catches.
A little screen pass there, and you could tell this Dover team is really well coached, Matt. They're not going to make mistakes. They run the screen play. Everyone had their blocking assignments. They were able to get it open. A little bubble screen, open things up, and you get a first down. You move the chains, and Dover is marching down the football field here on this second drive.
Well, it's something that we saw last week, and that was broken tackles. Hilltoppers throughout the regular season were very good about not missing tackles or not letting the offense break tackles. Last week and this week, it could be a different story. McGarry trying to get out of that bottleneck. No, he's brought down. Christian Hall on the stop. No gain on that play.
It's really hard to run against this defense, Matt. We've said it all year long. They just load up the box and come at you. And McGarry had a huge week last week. He's going to struggle to run like that again this week. And there are about 8 black jerseys back there in the backfield, and it's Hall who ends up coming up and making the play.
Check that. That was Mitchell Martin, the backup running back. McGarry over here on the sidelines near side. So Martin will be the lone back in the backfield. Hall under center. One receiver near side. Looking to pass. Farthington over the middle. It's intercepted. Leo Columbi at the 25. Columbi at the 32-yard line. The Hilltoppers get the first turnover of the game.
Well, Columbi got one. He figured he'd come up and get another. That's the 5th interception of the year for Leo Columbi. After he had one go through his hands on the first drive, he once again, that ball is underthrown, and Leo Columbi does such a good job playing center field out there in that safety position. And it's roving over to where the ball is going to help out the corner, and he gets into position and comes up and makes the big catch.
Turnovers could be the difference in this one. Both coaches talked about that with the media this week, that they had to limit turnovers. Tornadoes make the mistake first. Now the Toppers can't do it again, or don't want to do it again. Alex Henry up the middle. And we talked about Alex Henry last week, Ryan, and the game that he had. It was a spectacular game by Henry in the sense that he made the big runs when he needed to. He held on to the ball, and he was actually able to get quite a few yards where it was 5-6 runs a pop.
Yeah, you know, he's grown a lot in this year as a quarterback, his first year as a starter, and you can see the growth. And one of the things he's gotten really good at is managing the situation. He managed that game a week ago really well. Now, he's an athlete, so I'm not saying that to say I'm minimizing him to a game manager, but it's another way he's grown with his ability to control what's happening down there on the field from the quarterback position.
They handed off, and I think that was Pettyjohn crossing the 45 out near the 47. It was Daniel Pettyjohn. All of this sudden now, I love what we're seeing from Pettyjohn, because it just, I don't want to say it's like a light switch, but we were just kind of waiting. Where is that confidence? Where is that vision on the field? And all of a sudden, the last couple weeks, it's there.
Well, you know, the confidence comes. Now it's not just the regular season. Now you're in the playoffs and you're having success. And then you really start to buy into, just how good you can be, and you start to feel more confident out there.
Toppers 1st and 10 from the 46. Bruce with the ball right side. Bruce running room toward the 40 and out of bounds. Hilltoppers get the first down.
Nice run by Bruce on the sweep, gets to the outside. You know, I thought we saw a week ago that Canfield was a little keyed up for that, Matt. When Bruce came in the game, they really did a good job to limit him. Dover, not so keyed up there. Bruce gets the ball and gets to the outside for a big first down run.
Hilltoppers will have a 1st and 10 from the 41. Caden Dawson lines up split end to the left. Henry under center, tight wing tee behind him. Motion, and it's going to go against Dover.
Yeah, it's going to be encroachment. Right from the middle of the defensive line, just jumping over, making that mistake, as that was Thomas Pavito, the defensive lineman. A big guy on that defensive line, but trying to get that extra step.
The one thing you can say about Dover is they've got a lot of guys going two ways in this game, and they're going to be doing their best to sub in and out throughout this one. But as they're doing that, they may not necessarily have the skilled positions when they're subbing in and out. Henry going to take it left side. Henry up near the 30-yard line, very close to that first down. Let's see where they mark it.
It's not only when you have to sub you lose that skill, but the other thing is when you got a lot of guys going both ways, you start to run into the situation Canfield did last week where you expend so much energy just to stay with Chardon, but they don't have as many guys going both ways, and so they can wear you down in the second half. And we saw that Canfield team in the fourth quarter last week, Matt, just look like they were exhausted, and that's what could happen if you've got to keep subbing guys in against this Chardon team.
Toppers with the 1st and 10 from the 31. Pettyjohn goes in motion. They'll give it to Carr. Carr up the middle, lowered his shoulder across the 30, down near the 27. And the Hilltoppers methodical on that run.
Good strong run from your fullback there to give a little change of pace there to the defense. You got a lot of big plays from your athletes to the outside, and you give the ball to your big bruising fullback and let him run forward for 4 yards against the center of that defense.
Sean Carr entered this game 141 carries, 956 yards, averaging about, let's say, 6.7 yards per carry. He's in the backfield next to Henry. Henry trying to cut the corner around the right side. Henry took a big hit, fell forward, though, and looks like he picked up the first down.
Yeah, good work there by Henry, going around the initial block of Sean Carr, getting to the outside off the tackle and moving ahead for a first down to keep those chains moving for the Hilltoppers, who are marching down the field here on drive number 2.
1st and 10 now from the 20-yard line. Pettyjohn, Carr, and Peterson are your running backs. Henry goes under center. Pettyjohn in motion. He gets the handoff. Pettyjohn trying to cut to the outside. No. Was hit in the backfield and will be brought down for a loss. In on that stop, number 5, Gunner Stuntsman. Boy, that's a football name for you, Gunner.
Yeah, Gunner Stuntsman gets in there, gets the big stop. Also looked like getting in there with some help was a big linebacker, Ben Ham. So coming in to get the stop, and just a loss of yardage there for the Hilltoppers. After marching forward, Dover able to come up and get a negative play and set the Hilltoppers here behind the chains now.
Joshua Bruce, the split end, lines up far side. Ryan Peterson in the slot. Pettyjohn goes in motion. They will fake to Pettyjohn. Henry going to go up the middle, and Henry into a gaggle of people. He's up near the 19, so he got back what they lost, and then about a yard. Going to bring up 3rd down and long for Chardon.
Yeah, set up 3rd down and 9, keeping you off schedule after falling behind the chains here on 1st down. And see what you go. This is not like tonight. Now, there's no win tonight, so you feel pretty comfortable with the leg of Nathan Tagger from this would be between 35 and 40 yards. You'd feel comfortable with his leg on that tonight.
Now, he nearly made a 53-yarder against South that fell just shy. Henry going up the middle again. Henry,
he handed off to
check
A.J.
that.
Bruce.
It's Bruce around the right side. Touchdown, Toppers.
Such a good play action, Matt. That is such a good play action. And he hands the ball off to A.J. Bruce, and it wasn't just you who didn't see that. Pretty much the entire Dover defense thought it was a keeper for Henry, opening the door for the speed of A.J. Bruce to get around to the outside and into the end zone for a touchdown.
A huge TD by Bruce. Hilltoppers now 2 for 2 on their offensive possessions in this one. Tagger now out to attempt the PAT. Snap is down, kick is up, but flag's coming out.
I think you're going to have to kick that one from 5 yards further back. Yeah, false start on the Hilltoppers.
Number 9. Finally, retry the point.
Well, will remain a chip shot for Nathan.
I was say with Tagger's leg, you feel pretty comfortable in these situations. 25-yard extra point. Definitely no problem for his leg.
Good snap, kick is underway. And it is good. So with 2:04 to play, the Hilltoppers up on top 14-3 here on GTV.
Oh, don't forget, you can now watch both GTV channels, 1020 and 1025, on Roku and Apple TV. Add the ScreenWeave app to your device, look for GTV, and you'll be able to watch both channels from the extra TV you have in the den, bedroom, or kitchen. Look for the ScreenWeave app, add it, search for GTV, and you'll be connected. Remember, it's the ScreenWeave app that gets you connected on Roku and Apple TV. You can also watch both our channels 24/7 at www.geaugatv.org.
Well, the Hilltoppers, that was a pivotal drive, getting 7 off that turnover.
Well, you know, Dover had the flash early. They had the big return followed by the 40-yard run, and then the defense came up and forced a field goal, and forcing that field goal put the Hilltoppers in control. And so far throughout the rest of this first quarter, they've been in control ever since. Got a big return of their own, score a touchdown, get interceptions, score a touchdown. So Hilltoppers have firmly taken control of this game, and really outside of 2 flashy plays to start from Dover, this game has pretty much been all Chardon.
So Tagger will get set to kick it off again. High kick. Going to be fielded at the 10, up to the 20, trying to make a cut left side. Around the corner, 30, 35, and knocked out of bounds. It was the big man, Farvington, on the return.
Physical hit there for the Hilltoppers to get Farmington out of bounds, because you're right. He's a big man down there, not just with the height, but you can tell he's built, strong kid. Hilltopper's able to force him out of bounds, so still another good return for Dover out to the 38-yard line to start.
Well, the return game has been strong in this one for both schools. McGarry gets the call up to the 40-yard line, and it was Dotson who got him down by the ankles.
That was a great play by Brody Dotson, too. He comes in and fills the gap, so the offensive line opens up that A gap. It's a run right up the middle, and coming in to fill it is Brody Dotson. He gets down there, makes a big stop to prevent a big run. You only pick up 2 yards. Nice play there by Brody Dotson.
2nd down and 8 from the 40. Clock winding down here. 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Appreciate you tuning in here on GTV. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with the Hilltoppers up 14-3. From the gun, Molk puts Farmington in motion. They will give it to the big man, trying to cut around the left side. And he is met, and he is going to be brought back. And the officials finally call forward progress on that one. I was wondering if they were going to let him go all the way back in the end zone.
Forward progress is going to be all the way up at the 35-yard line, Matt. That's going to be the line of scrimmage. So officially, after all that, it's only going to be a loss of about 5. But good work by the Hilltopper defense, just being ball hawks there, get to the point of contact and not let that runner get away. Tough guy to bring down in the open field there, as that was farthing again. He's tough to bring down in the open field, but still able to stop him for a loss on forward progress.
Look at this. Farmington, 6'5", 180, was slowed down, or if you want, met by A.J. Bruce, the sophomore, 5'11", 165. 26 seconds on the clock, and Dover burning their second timeout. So with that, we'll take a timeout here on GTV. Welcome back, everyone, to the blue turf here of Gilchrist Field at Portage Community Bank Stadium in Ravenna. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Officials added a couple seconds back on the clock. It's 30 exactly as the Tornadoes face a 3rd and 13 from their own 35. They will fake the handoff. Molk looking to throw, stepping up, feeling some pressure, will have a man open, and that should be a first down out toward the middle of the field, as they found a spot in the zone and picked it up.
Yeah, that's just a great route run there. You find the first down mark, you get yourself open in the middle of the zone, and you go ahead and pick up 13 yards on 3rd down, and that's enough to move the chains. So usually the Hilltopper defense, Matt, very good at giving up or getting off the field on 3rd down. Not very often they give up 13 yards on 3rd down like that to move the chains.
Well, clock running down, about 15 seconds left in this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dover is content to let it go. But they are coming to the line. Let's see what they do here. Down to 5. Molk from the gun. Gets the snap off, dropping back to pass. Looking to put it down the middle of the field. Farthington open, and it is knocked away. And no flags on that one. A.J. Bruce, great coverage.
Great coverage by Bruce. Matt, the timing on their pass game is off today. Once again, that's short from Dover. Every pass has come up short so far in this first quarter.
With that, we're going to take a timeout here. We've played one at Chardon 14, Dover 3 on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, The Conic Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, The Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Hand up, gonna try to run it right side. Molk up near the 50 to about the 49 into Hilltopper territory. Nathaniel Salka came in and helped make the stop on that one.
Yeah, great play there by Salka. So here you've got Dover set up behind an off schedule again after their first pass play came up short. Now you make the big play. This is 3rd and 9.5 for Dover.
Hilltoppers defense has been good all year long, and they would love to get a stop here. Farmington going out to the right. Jake Jones near side. 4 receivers in this formation, 1 back in the backfield. McGarry looking to throw. Molk toward the sideline, has his man, and knocked out of bounds for the first down. Jake Jones, he's having a big night. His 3rd catch of the evening.
And for Dover, that's just a good read against the zone again, right? So you go ahead, you step back to pass, you look at where the linebackers and the safeties are, and you find a guy who gets himself open in the zone, and you're able to make the play, and it's enough for a first down to move the chains.
Will be 1st and 10 Dover now from the Hilltopper 37-yard line. Tyler Stevenson and Jake Jones out on the right. Farmington, the lone receiver, on the left. McGarry in the backfield from Molk in the shotgun. Feeling some pressure from McDonald. Going to dump it off. McGarry on the screen. He's hit! Oh! Christian Hall came in and said, "How do you do?" And McGarry got his bell rung right there.
Where did Christian Hall come from? I mean, he just bolted into the scene. And then he blew right by the blocker. There was a blocker in front of that who could have met Christian Hall, and Hall sped right by him. And man, what a play. That was a big hit. How about that, Christian Hall?
Boy, if you're a Hilltopper fan and that hit doesn't get you excited, just turn this off right now. 3 receivers to the right. Farmington lone on the left. Empty backfield. Check that. 2 receivers on the left. Empty backfield for Molk. Looking to throw. Feeling some pressure. Stepping up in the pocket. He's hit as he throws. And the officials are going to rule that it is a completed pass. Not sure how McGarry hung on to that one, but he did. So the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, bringing up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, the QB Molk took a pretty big hit in the backfield from McDonald as well. So here you go. You've given up a first down on 3rd and 13. You've given up a first down on 3rd and 9 on this drive. Now it's 3rd down and 8. And the Hilltoppers looking to do what they normally do so well, Matt, and that's get off the field on 3rd down. They do not usually give up 3rd down completions like they have in the past.
McGarry coming out. This will be an interesting formation. They've got quads to the right. They're going to hand it off. They're looking to throw toward the end zone. Farmington can't get it in and out of his hands. It was Aiden Hall who took the handoff, and Hall threw it down the field. They nearly made that happen, but Hall just could not get a good, he needed a better throw.
Yeah, you know, he was open down there in the end zone, and the ball was in his hands, but he just couldn't hold on. You're going to take that shot there because you've determined you're in 4-down territory. So you go ahead and take a shot. They change your personnel package, and you're going to go for it here on 4th down.
A lot of substitutions. As the substitution game still playing now, Tyler Stevenson enters. McGarry in the backfield. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Molk stepping up in the pocket, looking to throw. Has a man open, and he made the catch. It's Jake Jones again.
Just reading against that zone again, Matt. Jones good at that. Able to see where the spot is as the Hilltoppers drop back into that zone on 3rd down to avoid giving up the big pass play, and Jones just finds that soft spot there, but he got between a couple of linebackers and he moves the chains. And good work by Dover here against a really good defense to keep their drive alive on 3rd and 4th downs. Keep things marching.
They have faced some big-time adversity, and they've been able to come through. 1st and 10 now from the 24. Molk going to send Farmington in motion to the right. Fakes the handoff. Molk looking to run it right side. He's hit and taken down. No gain on that one.
1st and 2nd down hasn't been a problem on this drive, has it, Matt? As that's another big play on 1st down by the Hilltoppers. Getting down there, making the big play and knocking him back. Looked like that was Brody Dotson who gets the stop. No gain.
Jake Jones and Tyler Stevenson will re-enter this contest. Now Stevenson will come out for another receiver. Farmington will head to the far right. 3 receivers left side. McGarry to the left of Molk from the gun. Toppers bringing pressure. Pass will go incomplete on that screen.
If you're Dover, you're going to go to the locker room. One of the things you're going to say to each other is, where would we be if we could just catch the football? That's another ball that's open for a screen with blockers up front. That could have easily picked up a first down, and it goes right through the hands of the intended receiver. Just can't make the catch.
Will be 3rd down and 10 for the Tornadoes again. Boy, it feels like we've been saying 3rd down in Dover a lot in this one so far.
And so far they've been able to do some good job running routes against the Hilltopper zone defense to find the yard marker and move the chains.
Farmington, lone receiver left. McGarry will get the handoff. McGarry trying to get some running room around the left side, 20, and McGarry stopped before the first down. It was Liebhart who came in and made the tackle, took his legs out from under him.
That play is a sign that Dover had decided once again that we're in 4-down territory, so we've been throwing constantly on 3rd down. Let's show them something else, and you go into a draw play for the running back, and it worked. You had some open space there as the Hilltoppers dropped back into zone to try to cover the pass, and the draw play opened up some yardage, and you go from 3rd and 10 to 4th down and 4, and here you're going for it again.
What's interesting is this position here, you get a field goal, it's a 1-score game. And they would rather try to go for the touchdown, a 4th and 4 from the 18. Molk from the gun, looking. He has time. Molk now being flushed out left side. Should be a holding penalty. There it is. Molk is going to run down the left side. Molk can be knocked out of bounds, but Molk is going to have to play this one over because there is a obvious holding penalty against the Tornadoes.
Yeah, Dover doesn't like the call, but there's no way you hold a pocket for that long if somebody isn't holding.
It came along.
4th down.
It came along the right side, and sometimes, Ryan, you can get away with that. The problem is when you have an official right there, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, Ryan McVicker, the guard over there, the right guard, guilty of the hold. He was just doing everything he could. That was that great downfield coverage by the Hilltopper secondary, not allowing anything to open up and forcing Malk to run around. And when your quarterback runs around like that, eventually a lineman has to hold. The holding was already well behind the line of scrimmage.
Aiden Hall in the game at QB. McGarry to his right, 2 receivers to the right. He's going to pooch punt it. And Farmington will make the, I guess, catch, if you will, around the 21. So they went with the punt.
Well, I think Coach is going to ask Farmington why he caught that one. You maybe want to let that ball hit the ground and roll. It didn't look like a Hilltopper was around to receive it.
Well, the Hilltopper defense, thanks to a mistake by the Tornadoes, gets that stop. They get the ball back now. And Chardon looking at a 1st and 10 with about 6:30 to go in this one before halftime. And if you could get a score here, and now all of a sudden the dynamics of this second half and of the remaining time in this first half will change immensely. Henry will hand it off. Carr straight up the gut, and Sean Carr to about the 26.
And the Hilltoppers will have the ball to start the second half in this game as well. So, a lot could change depending on how things go on this drive. And you really take advantage as the defense comes up, makes a big play on 3rd down. You do such a good job that you forced Dover to hold, and so you force them to have to take a weird punt, and you get your offense back out on the field. And it's the kind of mistakes that the Hilltoppers make you pay for.
Hilltopper's going to call a timeout here with 5:54 to go. Their first of this one, something that they didn't like.
Yeah, not sure if they looked at the Dover personnel and decided they want to discuss it. But anyway, while they are out there, and I turn off my flashlight, I want to let you know the Chardon Athletic Boosters have all your Topper gear. Chardon Hilltopper gear makes the perfect Christmas gift for those near and far. Be sure to shop early to get the best selection and size. The Boosters now have online ordering to make your shopping even easier. Check chardonathletics.org for the details.
Well, the Hilltoppers enjoying a 14-3 lead right now. Came courtesy of an Alex Henry 10-yard touchdown run 3 minutes into this one to the right side. Made a really nice diving stretch, and then A.J. Bruce around the right end on a jet sweep accounted for the other touchdown. Now returning back to action here, Henry from the gun. And Henry looking to go between the tackles. Henry left side up near the 30. Will make it 3rd down and short on that run.
Good job there by the Dover defense to come in and get the stop on Henry, but still, you're on schedule here if you're the Hilltoppers. It's 3rd down and 1. With Alex Henry and Sean Carr there to run the football, you feel pretty confident you can pick up 1 yard and keep this drive moving. As good as the offensive line is, doesn't even matter that they know you're going to run it. Just get one of those guys behind that offensive line, pick up that yard, move the chains.
So here they go. And they will give it to Carr. Carr lowering his shoulders, moves ahead, and this will be close.
Second effort. It was good push by the Dover defensive line initially, but second effort was able to push Sean Carr across the line to gain to move the chains.
1st and 10 Chardon from the 31. Clock now moving under 5 to go before halftime. 2 receivers right, 2 backs between Henry from the gun. He will give it up. Pettyjohn running room 40. Pettyjohn now to about the 42. And they may move the chains again. They do.
Come to the outside on the jet sweep there. Good job by Pettyjohn, enough for a 1st down. Linebackers knew it was coming. They still couldn't stop Pettyjohn.
Hilltoppers moving down the field in the way that the time is playing out with this, Ryan. I'm getting a little sense of deja vu from last week against Canfield and how they closed out the first half in that one.
Except for in this situation, the Hilltoppers will have the ball to start the second half, which they didn't have. So the Hilltoppers have a chance to really drain the rest of this clock, score, and then get the ball back to start the second half. And if you could score on both those drives, you put this game away early tonight.
Fake to Peterson. Henry trying to go up the middle, and Henry gains a couple yards on that tough run. Boy, Alex Henry willing to take the licks. And you see a lot of quarterbacks, and we've seen this throughout the season, who are afraid to get hit. Alex Henry, though, he'll take it.
Well, you can't become the starting quarterback at Chardon if you're not willing to take the hits, because if you're the starting quarterback here, you're going to run a lot, and you're going to have to be willing to take those hits, and Alex Henry absolutely is, and played a great game last week, and you get the sense Dover's keying in on him this week, trying to limit him, but still a good, strong run to pick up a couple of yards there on 1st down.
2nd and 8, 3:35 to go, clock running here before halftime. They hand it off around the right side, some running room. Bruce trying to get around 45 on his feet out near the 40, and the Hilltoppers with another big run to the outside, and now a late flag. Boy, if this is against Dover, the Tornadoes are in big trouble.
It's going to be against Dover. We got a player down here talking to the official. Sean Carr threw a big block down there on Dover's number 18. And when 18 came by the official, he was shouting. I saw him talking to the official. I think he wanted a call.
Dead ball. Sportsmanlike conduct. Number 1
goes against
on
the
offense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down and 10.
I saw a Dover player talking to an official. I assumed it was that. I wonder what Bruce did. I didn't see that one.
So A.J. Bruce will have 15 yards marked off from the end of that run. Hilltoppers will have the ball 1st down and 10 from the 46. Now with 3:26 to go before halftime. Two receivers out to the left. Peterson goes in motion, and it's Henry up the middle, and Henry fighting for yardage up to about the 49. McGarry helping it make the stop for Dover.
They still come up and pick up 3 yards on 1st down. I mean, Dover is there. They want to limit Alex Henry. They get there to stop him, but they're able to stay on schedule, get yourself to 2nd down and 7 on a good, strong run by Alex Henry. The push from this Chardon offensive line is just so good. And now remember, most of the guys on Dover's side are playing both ways. Not the case for Chardon.
2:50 and counting. The give is to Carr. Carr lowers his shoulders. First down across the 44 out to the 43. And the Hilltoppers remain in business, but now with 2 timeouts left, they're going to have to start paying attention to that clock. It temporarily stopped at 2:43, and now it's running again, 2:40 and counting here, as they need to go 43 yards for pay dirt.
That was a good read, too. You read the blocks, saw where they came, and he just darted between the blocks and able to pick up the big yardage and a first down. Good read there on that run.
Salka, by the way, who is 6'4", being guarded by a cornerback who's 6'4" himself, and Jake Jones. Just keep that in mind on the outside. Fake to Pettyjohn. They were looking to throw the ball. Henry has time, going to chuck it out of bounds. Smart move by Alex Henry.
Yeah, once he got out of the pocket, there were 4 Dover players running him down. There's no way he was going to complete that. He just throws it away. You're in 4-down territory anyway, so essentially you feel like it's okay to burn one here on first down. That didn't work out. You throw it away, and you'll keep running the football here to try to move the chains.
Will be 2nd down and 10 from the 43. Clock has reached 2:11 to go before halftime. 2 receivers now out to the right. Sean Carr to Henry's right. Henry going to pitch it off. Lowering his shoulders and spinning around is Carr down to about the 38.
Henry had the option there. He could run it himself or pitch it. He saw where the defense was playing, pitched off to Carr. Right the call as you pick up 5 yards, but the Hilltoppers need to operate in the hurry up a little bit here, Matt, as they're under 2 minutes left to go.
Well, under 1:50 now. Toppers trying to get set. They do. Henry sends Pettyjohn in motion, fakes to Pettyjohn, and Henry with a block left side. Henry out near the 35-yard line, shy of the first down. They may give him the 34. It'll bring up a 4th down in short situation.
Not sure how he managed to squeeze between those blocks coming from Peterson and Carr. Henry squeezes between them to set up 4th down and 1.
Toppers will not use a timeout here with under 1:20 to go. They're going to go for it. Toppers, did they get a timeout? They did, as they were going to pitch it to Salka left side.
Call a timeout, man. It looked like that might have been a first down play. Salka got that ball open. There was no one in front of him. He could have stepped out of bounds and kept it alive, but instead they get that timeout in, and they're going to discuss it here on 4th down.
You have now 1:01 to go in this one, and Ryan, at this point in time, if you pick up the first down, I almost think that you got to start at that point in time thinking about 3 instead of a touchdown.
Yeah, that's the game plan the whole time. So, you mentioned that the Hilltoppers aren't taking timeouts. Dover only has 1 left. That's why they haven't taken it. Otherwise, they would have tried to stop this drive. Chardon doesn't want to do Dover that favor right now. I mean, you play for a field goal. If you don't score, you get the ball back. If you're Chardon, you just don't want Dover to get the ball back here in this half. So pick up the first down and play for a field goal. That's the game plan right now.
4th down and 2 officially. I got to tell you, folks, it looks like 4th and 1 to me. 1:01 to go here before halftime. Toppers, traditional wing T formation for Henry. He's under center. Henry sends Pettyjohn in motion. They give it to Pettyjohn, and Pettyjohn picks up the first down around the right side. Clock will temporarily stop as they move the chains.
Gotta love that play call, right, Matt? On 4th and 1, it's going to be Carr or Henry, right? Nope, they give the ball to Pettyjohn, goes to the outside to pick up the first down on 4th and 1 and move the chains.
Now under 1 minute to go. Henry has the team at the line. Will fake the handoff, rolling out. Henry going to throw it. Has Alex McDonald. 25. McDonald 20. McDonald 15. Out of bounds near the 10-yard line. A great catch by Alex McDonald that stops the clock with 46.6 seconds left to go. And now all of a sudden, with 1 timeout left, you maybe can think about a touchdown.
Well, that was a great route by McDonald, dragging across the middle. He was lined up tight on the left side, came all the way across, stayed with his quarterback. Henry saw him open in the zone, and you get the big tight end open in space for the first down to move the chains. That's 2 big catches in this playoffs now for Alex McDonald.
1st and 10 from the 13. Henry will send Peterson in motion, and Peterson was the ball carrier, brought down in the backfield, and he is very slow to get up. He is holding that right hand.
Well, now even though you have that timeout left, Matt, the loss of 3 probably puts you back in the mindset of playing for a field goal here to head into the locker room.
Clock down to 20. This is likely the last offensive play unless they're trying to just get Dover to jump off sides. Henry looking. Henry flushing out. Henry going to throw it, and he will throw it away. That will stop the clock with 8 seconds left to go, and here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, Henry was trying to run that one out, see if something would get open. Nothing did. So you'll bring Tagger out here. We mentioned again that the wind is not a factor tonight. Nothing like the game last week at Girard when the wind was really whipping through there. So line of scrimmage is the 16. You're talking about a 33-yard field goal, 32, 33-yarder here. This is well within the range.
Nathan looking for his 7th field goal of this season. Bit of a high snap, kick underway. It's toward the uprights, and it is good!
Great job to bring that.
So Tagger, from 33 yards out, he connects.
Yeah, great job to bring that snap down, and good job by Nathan Tagger to just stay with it all the way through and get another field goal through the uprights for the Hilltoppers. What a great weapon that is, and now it's a 2-touchdown game here. And as long as you can avoid giving up a big return by Dover, you're going to the locker room up 14.
Well, the Hilltoppers, that's now 10 points, if you will, off stops. And I'm counting that little pooch punt thing that they did as a stop. Of course, you count that interception as well, that they were able to march down the field. And right now, if you're the Hilltoppers, you've got momentum on your side as you are getting ready to head into the locker room after this kick, and I wouldn't doubt it if we're going to see just a little pooch kick here. Folks, do invite you to stick around. We will have some musical entertainment for you coming up next here. Well, timeout has been called. It was Chardon who called the timeout.
Got it left, you might as well use it, right? You can't take it with you. And they are going to discuss this kickoff here. Good first half. There was a long drive by Dover in there. They had a couple of big plays early on their first drive, but overall, Matt, it's felt like the Hilltoppers have been in control tonight, and I think that's the way this one has played out, up by the 2 touchdowns here. And they will get the football back to start the third quarter, and it's going to be a huge drive to start the third quarter.
Well, that drive with Hilltoppers up 14-3 could be huge. Now, of course, the Hilltoppers special teams has to take care of business right now with 3.3 seconds left before halftime.
Yeah, anything could happen. We've seen a couple of big returns already from Dover today. And the first one was, you feel like, one tackle away from breaking off for a touchdown. So got to make sure you take care of business here on the coverage on this kickoff.
Bouncing kick will be eventually picked up by up back around the 24, and time expires here. So at halftime, Chardon with a 14-point lead, 17-3, and we'll take a timeout here on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Killies Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The band is being led onto the field by our senior drum majors, Michael Molesky and Joseph Joquin. The music for our show this evening was selected by our senior class. Our first tune was released in 1974 and has sold over 11 million copies. It was then covered by CeeLo Green and Jack Black for the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Here is Kung Fu Fighting. Up next, we feature our Topperettes in a tune from 2010 by pop artist Katy Perry. With captains Lindsey Craig and Alana Kolick, here is Teenage Dream. We close our show this evening with a tune that has earned Lady Gaga 2 Grammy Awards for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. In 2021, Rolling Stone magazine included it in their list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. We now feature our majorettes, Faith, Lauren, Courtney, Hallie, Julianne, and Savannah in Bad Romance. for the Chardon High School fight song.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Killies Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Autoglass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke back with you here on GTV as we are nearly ready to begin the third quarter here from the blue turf of Gilchrist Field at Portage Community Bank Stadium in Ravenna. Do not adjust. Little pooch kick. They tried to go the onside route. Hilltopper's going to cover it right up. The good hands unit was in there.
Well, Dover realizes how important this drive is. It's 17-3 right now, and the entire feel of the second. We talk about this every week. The entire feel of the second half changes depending on how this drive goes. If Chardon goes down and scores, even just a field goal, Dover's facing a 3-score deficit, and they've really got to become one-dimensional. Whereas if they can get a stop, they can still run their offense, try to get down there and make it a one-score game and keep it interesting. Really, a lot of how the second half plays out hinges on this opening drive.
Pettyjohn in motion, the fake to Pettyjohn, and Henry going to take it. Henry plows over a tornado and gets down near the 40-yard line. Great gain by Alex Henry. Good read on that play. And I just loved how he bowled over a tornado.
Yeah, absolutely good read. He saw where the hole opened up. And you talked about in the first half, he's not afraid to draw that contact. He went right into it there. Alex Henry, strong runner from the quarterback position.
Henry, who averages about 6 yards a carry, has 19 touchdowns on the year when he runs the football. He will hand it off, and this time coming left side and picking up a couple yards near the first down was Peterson.
Peterson on the jet sweep, so set up third down and 1 there. And you start out by running up the middle, then you go to the outside to the left. Keep the eyes of those linebackers moving around, trying to figure out where you're going out of this wing T formation.
Salka will bring the play into the game here. 3rd and 1 from the 39. And Ryan, you know, looking on the other side of the field, this is a very pivotal stop here for the Tornadoes if they can get it.
Huge third down play for them.
Give this to Carr, and Carr gets the first down out near the 37.
But Sean Carr doesn't let you get stops on third down, right? That's not in his repertoire. You give the ball to the senior, Sean Carr, big fullback, and he comes forward. You know, there was a period of time where they really leaned on him for the big plays in the middle of this year. Here in the postseason, he's been the big fullback, and you've got guys on outside making big plays, and Sean Carr is still steady and reliable in the middle to pick up those hard yards when you need them.
First down in 10 from the 37 in this regional championship game. Hilltoppers up by 14. Toppers going back to the ground. Henry stopped in the backfield. The big man brought him down, number 58, Simon Lantz.
Just a good read there by Lantz. He didn't fall for the play action, kept his eyes on Henry, saw the football there, able to get back there and get the stop. Not sure what happened on the Hilltopper offensive line as no one picked Lantz up, and he was able to come from the defensive line position, get the stop. Give Henry credit for getting back to the line of scrimmage on that play, though.
Will be 2nd down and 10 now for the Hilltoppers. Man in motion, they fake it. Henry up the gut. Henry spun around at the 36-yard line and bring up a 3rd down and long. And all of a sudden now, the Tornadoes plugging the gaps and not letting Chardon between the tackles. Maybe it's time now for that jet sweep.
Yeah, they really don't want Alex Henry to beat them. And so you get in there, you make a big stop off the defensive line. And that was Tristano there who made that play. And now, yeah, you got to do something to the outside. You've had nothing up the middle.
Question is this 4-down territory if you're the Hilltoppers?
I would treat it as such.
They give it to Bruce, trying to cut around the outside. Bruce is met, and no gain on that play. They strung him out. And the Tornado defense comes up with a stop here on 3rd down, and now Chardon facing a 4th and 9.
This is what Dover needed, right? We talked about it. Chardon could put the game away with the score on the drive to start the second half. Dover gets this stop, especially since they could get the ball back at their own 36-yard line. They're right in this game, and they've come out to play here in the second half. Bruce not able to get to the outside. Maybe he might have wanted to run inside of that block from Ryan Peterson instead of the outside, but either way, it sets up a 4th down and 9 here.
Toppers got to hurry. Play clock down to 3. And Mitch Hewitt forced to call a timeout. His team slow getting the play in, and they've got to burn the timeout. And boy, you hope that doesn't come back to haunt them later in the game.
Yeah, you sure hope not. You know, it's tough to say it right now, but it sure looks like the past couple plays by this Dover defense has the Hilltoppers offense a little bit out of sync at the moment. They needed that timeout. Hey, tonight's special cablecast is not funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, but we'd still like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, but more importantly, thanks to all of our viewers for your support. Again, the Gridiron Club has done a great job of finding us underwriters to support these playoff broadcasts. So tonight's cablecast not funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, but we do thank all of our funding communities tonight anyway. Thanks everyone for viewing.
Hilltoppers come to the line, 4th and 9 from the 36. They need a big play here. They're going to look to throw the football. Henry puts it up in the air down the right side, overthrows. Everybody was looking for Salka, and the Toppers turn it over on downs on their first possession. And now they've got the Tornado fans up and on their feet here, maybe thinking momentum is about to shift.
Yeah, we've got a game right now, and Dover has momentum on the side. No reason not to take a shot there on 4th down and 9. You had man coverage out there for Salka. Throw just didn't get there. Came to the inside portion of the play. Wanted to get that ball over the outside shoulder. Didn't get the ball there. So now it's up to this Hilltopper defense to come out here and get a stop and not let Dover turn this into a real momentum swing.
Aiden Hall onto the field, I beg your pardon, to pilot this Tornado crew from the gun. 2 receivers right. 1 left, will hand it off. Trying to make a cut, getting the outside. 40, cuts upfield. That's McGarry, and McGarry out near the 42. We saw him bust off a big run on a similar play to open the game, but Hilltoppers contained him there for about 7.
Fetchick able to get the stop. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. Can't miss tackles. There's a missed tackle in the backfield. That play could have gone for a loss. McGarry able to get around it and pick up 7 yards after that moment.
2nd and 3 for for Dover from the Dover 43. Hall will give it to McGarry again. McGarry met that time. Salka was coming up, able to help make the stop. He picked up about 2 yards on that run will bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah. Felger was in there initially trying to get the stop. Salka came in, helped Felger out. It's only a pickup of a yard. It's 3rd down and 2 here for Dover. And I think we saw the urgency Dover has. They tried that onside kick. I think even if you contain them to less than 1.5 yards here, Matt, they'd go for it on 4th down. So I think the Hilltoppers need to get 2 stops here to get their offense back on the field.
3rd and 2 from the 44 where the ball was marked. McGarry gets the call again. McGarry pushed back again. The Hilltopper D-line did their job.
Yeah. Come up big, get the stop. I mean, I saw the entire D-line there. Saw Felger in there, saw Kinsley in there. They get up there, make the stop. It's a small loss. I mean, Dover they showed so much urgency. There's no way they're not going for it here, Matt. So if you're the Hilltoppers, you got to strap those helmets on and make one more play to get your offense back on the field and force the 4 and out.
Hilltopper fans making some noise here. 4th and 2 from their own 44. Hall gives it to McGarry again. And McGarry trying to get it. No, he stopped short again. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. And we have a turnover on downs.
Heath Fetchick gets in there to make the stop. Good play by Fetchick. Looked like Fetchick caused McGarry to run into his own runner as well. And he couldn't go anywhere. And Fetchick able to bring him down. And Heath Fetchick from that linebacker position, doesn't get talked about much, Matt, but he's one of the leading tacklers on this team. He makes a big play there.
Absolutely. 73 tackles for Fetchick. Got to look at this stat, too. 11.5 tackles for losses. The young man can certainly make some big plays in the backfield. Chardon with the ball back now, 1st and 10 from the 44. They give it to Henry. Henry going to keep it himself, and Henry up near the 35-yard line. Some hard running by the QB.
And this is where you can see how much that balloon for Dover is deflated. They came back with a lot of energy, got the stop, got the ball back. They go 4 and out. Remember those big hits they were having on Alex Henry at the line of scrimmage on that first drive of this 3rd quarter? Here on the 2nd drive, first play, Henry gashes them for 9 on 1st down.
Now, folks, just mentioning this now, I'm starting to see some of the defenders hands on their hips.
And that's when we go back to talking about how many guys have to go both ways for Dover compared to Chardon.
Henry looking to go around the left side. Henry out of bounds near the 30-yard line. That will be enough for a 1st down for the Hilltoppers.
We always talk about how we love that Alex Henry is willing to take those hits. That was a smart play there to choose not to take it. Go on, you got the 1st down. You can move out of bounds. You don't have to take every hit, and you go on to the next play.
Well, the Hilltoppers, with their 2nd possession of this 3rd quarter, have the clock down to 5:01 to go, up by 14 points. 17-3 here. They will give it to Sean Carr. Carr, nice little move. He picks up about 4 or 5 on that run to the left side.
Yeah, get Carr in space. For the most part tonight, Carr has been running between the tackles. They've been letting guys like Pettyjohn handle things outside the tackles. That time, they let Sean Carr go to the left, and he picks up 5 yards.
Chardon would be very content to just continue to run the football, pick up 4 or 5 yards a run.
The clock is Chardon's friend. We saw it last week against Canfield, the way they held the ball and wore down that defense. Trying to do the same thing to Dover here this week.
Man going in motion. They will hand it off to Carr. Carr again lowering his shoulders, and Carr up near the 25-yard line. Forward progress will be called there, though he fell a few yards further up the field, but officials stopped the play. He's at the 25. 25.
It looked like he had Alex McDonald come in and give him a shove in the back to try to push him the extra yard, but good couple strong runs there by Sean Carr.
I'm just telling you, McDonald pushes me, I'm going ahead.
There's no one who wouldn't, I'll tell you that. Alex McDonald is a strong kid.
3rd and 3 from the 25. Pettyjohn in motion, and it's Henry. Henry on his feet, and Henry gets the 1st down as he's down to the 20. And the Hilltoppers, they had the Tornadoes a little bit flat-footed there as they were starting to key on Pettyjohn on that run, but it was Henry who kept it and ran straight up the middle.
Absolutely correct. You could watch those linebackers there on the play action. Those linebackers, about 3 of them, started moving to the left with Pettyjohn, opened the hole for Henry to run through, and offensive line did their job at the line of scrimmage, so once Henry got into the secondary, there was plenty enough space to pick up the first down.
Pettyjohn goes in motion again, and it's Henry again. Henry fighting for yardage up to the 15-yard line.
And you see everyone was going with Henry again, and this is another sign of getting worn down, right? So in the first half, Dover was doing a really good job of being keyed in on Alex Henry, and they were keeping their eyes on him, staying with that football. Now you're getting a little higher in the second half. You're starting to think, okay, there's the handoff. I'm following this guy to the right, and all this kind of goes into the way Chardon just wears a defense down. Did it to Canfield last week, doing it to Dover here this week.
2nd and 5 from the 15, 2:34 and counting here, third quarter. Chardon going right to left. They will fake the handoff. Henry right side 10. Henry brought down after he picks up the first down near the 7. Looks like the ball will be spotted around the 8.
Right, and then you have him set up for that, right, Matt? So you have Henry go up the middle 2 times on faking the play action to the outside. Now Henry's going to keep it. He's going to run to the right, go around the right tackle, and pick up the first down on you. So they got you set up now to think you're going up the middle, and instead they go out to the right.
We've seen a lot of Alex Henry on this drive, and that's okay. He's been very good running the football. 1st and goal from the 8. Hilltoppers knocking on the door. Henry going to keep it himself. Henry bouncing around toward the 5. Will be marked down at the 6, gain of 2.
Yeah, that was a good play by Stutzman down there to come up and make the stop. I think if he gets around that open field stop by Stutzman, Henry can step into the end zone for the touchdown. He's able to get out there and get the stop.
We saw him make a similar touchdown run early in this one, 3 minutes into the game, where he did that, but he was going right side. Made a nice diving touchdown. 2nd and goal from the 7. And Henry again up the middle. Henry cuts, and Henry brought down near the 3. So Chardon inching closer and closer. And now, I got to bring this up here. Going to be 3rd down and short. Do you just give it to the big man? Let him finish it off?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go to the out. Well, they might go to the outside again with Pettyjohn. That worked well, but I would think you're going to rely on Sean Carr on the goal line here at 3rd down and goal. Give the ball to him. See if he can punch it into the end zone.
Well, look at this. A.J. Bruce into the game. He's in the backfield. And the give is to Carr. Lowers his shoulders. Touchdown, Toppers.
So you bring A.J. Bruce into the game. You want him to be the decoy, right? You want them to think they're going to go to the speedster to the outside to maybe go for a pylon and try to get in. And then you just give the ball to big Sean Carr and let Sean Carr do what he's done best all year long and just rumble forward into the end zone for a touchdown. And so Sean Carr able to get in there.
Tagger out to attempt the PAT.
With Sean Carr's 22nd touchdown of the year.
Bit of a high snap. The kick is up, and it is good with 39 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. The Hilltoppers in control now, 24-3, thanks to a staunch defensive effort tonight and some good running.
Well, we have to say huge thanks to the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club for getting the underwriting for Topper playoff action. GTV's funding can't cover the playoffs for any sport, and as you may have heard, our general funding is under review with the intent of reducing the support we receive, so we really appreciate the underwriters Gridiron obtained to help us be able to get these games on the air for you. Underwriting of this nature cannot sustain GTV. We still need the full cable fee paid by our viewers in order to stay on the air and provide the programming we now provide. If our support is reduced by $20,000 as is proposed, then you can imagine how much programming will be lost. It's pretty simple. Less support means less programming. That's all programming, concerts, public events, even our football coverage will all have to be reduced or maybe even eliminated without that funding. So please let your government officials know you want your GTV that $20,000 is really important for us to continue to do everything that we can do for all of you. And, once again, thank you to all the Hilltopper Gridiron Club for getting us underwriters so that we could bring you this action here in the postseason. Well, the Tornadoes came out, ready to go. They came out and got that stop. The Hilltoppers got the ball back, and their drive faded out. And it really looked and felt like, Matt, the air got let out of their balloon a little bit. And their defense had their hands on their knees or their hips a lot on that drive, and the Hilltoppers just marched down the field on them and got in the end zone.
Molk from the gun, looking to throw. In the pocket, being flushed out. Going to hit a man down the sideline for a short gain. Second time he's gone to Dummermuth in this game.
Gains out to the 26-yard line of Dover. Brings up second down and 4.
Second and 4 from the 26, Molk. Stepping up again in the pocket. Guys down the field, flushed out, coming near side 30, 35, and out of bounds after he gets the first down.
And you had a couple guys back there with a chance to make a stop, Matt, and they missed. Allowed them to get away and pick up the first down and move the chains. You have that 3-score lead, but football can be a crazy game sometimes. This one's far from over, and when you have an opportunity, when you got a quarterback dead to rights in the backfield, you want to make sure you come up and get that stop.
Molk again looking to throw. Coming near side is dropped in and out of the hands of Jake Jones, who's had a nice night tonight.
He's made a number of catches, but now he drops one too, and there's probably no way around it, Matt. When Dover goes back and looks at the game, it's going to be the question of where would we have been if not for the dropped passes. And there's another one to add to the list. That was an open receiver, just dropped the pass.
Molk feeling pressure, stepping up, going to take off 35, 40, slicing up his way to the 45-yard line.
Designed run all the way there. QB draw. Get the Hilltoppers thinking you're passing. They're bringing pressure, able to run the QB by the pressure, and you set up 3rd down and 1 to start the 4th quarter to try to keep this drive alive.
Attention fans, you are invited to remain.
Well, the clock has struck 0. We'll take a timeout here on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Killies Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Return to action. Dover now going right to left. Molk going to do it again on the ground up toward the 40, and now they're up to the 45-yard line. Dover with a quarter to go, and they are trailing.
That's what's so important about setting up that 3rd down and 1. Give you some space to start the 4th quarter with a positive play and move the chains.
First down, 1st and 10 Tornadoes at the Chardon 44-yard line.
Stevenson and Jones to the right. Molt going to throw it near side. Farvington on the screen. 40 makes a nice move. 35-30 on his feet and knocked out of bounds just outside the 30 near the 29. So Tornadoes trying to make a push here early in the 4th quarter as they trail by 21.
They got to score quick. Yeah, you're right. Down by 3 scores is it. You got to get down the field and you got to score fast, especially when you know the ability the Hilltoppers have shown to eat clock. Taking some time right now, though.
Molk with Mitchell Martin to his right. Drops back to pass, looking to throw right side, has some time stepping up. He's brought down for a sack. Kisley got him in the backfield.
Yeah, what a play by Alex Kisley to get in the backfield. He had a big game last week against Canfield, and he comes in here, gets in the backfield, makes a big stop. Kisley is another one of the guys that talk about this team that just comes on stronger and stronger as the year goes on, and that's another big play there.
Well, the Hilltoppers needed that stop right there. Puts Dover back into a 2nd and 20 situation from the 37. Of course, with this offense, they have the ability to pick that up in a hurry. Molk looking to throw, going to go toward the end zone, left side. It's in the air, and it's going to fall incomplete. Was looking for his big target, was hoping that he could connect with Farvington for TD number 18 on the year, but could not do it.
Yeah, looking for Farvington down there, the high jumper, and just not able to get that ball. That pass was short again. That's kind of been the story for the Dover passing game tonight. Everything's been short, and that one was short again. Couldn't get it back there to Farmington.
So 3rd and 20 now for Dover. 10:06 left in this game. From the gun. Pump fakes, left side, he's taken down again! Kisley got him again, came around from the end. McDonald with pressure from the front.
Yeah, he does a pump fake, and he turns to go the other way, and he's looking to the eyes of Alex McDonald, and he can't turn to come back because here comes Alex Kisley from behind to bring him down. And 2 huge sacks for Alex Kisley. 2 of the last 3 plays have been sacks by Kisley.
Going to be 4th down and 23 now for Dover. And they will take a timeout. And Ryan, you got to, let's talk this over now for a second here. If you're the Tornadoes, you're down 21. Do you go for it and attempt to pick up the 1st down, or punt it away and try to get a defensive stop with Chardon?
Well, that's why they want to take a timeout and talk about it. You would think try to punt it and pin them back, but their defense already has looked tired. They haven't really shown they can stop. The Hilltoppers haven't punted yet tonight, so they haven't really shown they can get the stop. I think that Dover's sitting here. I think they're going to decide to go for it here on 4th down and 23 and see if they can't pick up a 1st down. They're not gonna try to pass for it all. They're gonna want to pick up some kind of yardage here to try to push Chardon back a little bit. So maybe a screen play you'll see, something to the outside. I don't think they'll just step back and throw. They are going to send 3 receivers out wide over there.
Well, maybe they will do that pooch punt again that we saw earlier in the game. Chardon, though, not buying it. Empty backfield. Molk stepping up in the pocket. Kisley has him again! 3 sacks in a row for the big man.
Kisley, what a huge drive for Alex Kisley. Got the sack on 1st down, the sack on 3rd down, and the sack on 4th down. How about that for Kisley?
I'll tell you what, folks. The press box here at Portage Community Bank Stadium is on the home side, or excuse me, on the visitor side. We're looking at the home side. And all of a sudden after that sack, the Dover fans are starting to get up and leave the stadium.
Yeah, there's a mass exodus going on here. It's a cold night. Temperature was only around 31 degrees at game time. We're dropping into the 20s, and you just get the sense, Matt, that Chardon is firmly in control tonight. And you get that sense because they have been.
Hilltoppers looking for their second consecutive regional championship as they continue that march to week 16. Henry on the run, looking to go right side. Henry running room 45 to the 40. He's off to the races 30, and he's brought down. Alex Henry, a big run in the Hilltoppers with a big first down. Ben Ham made the potential touchdown saving tackle.
Alex Henry does a great job, gets them outside, run behind some blockers, picks up the first down and moves the chains, and there's just no way around it. It's a tired Dover defense at this point in time.
We've seen it all year long from Chardon. They will wear you down, and then the third quarter for some teams, others it's the fourth, they just beat you up and score on will. Henry again up the middle, lowers his shoulder, and crosses the 25 down to the 24, and now the runs are starting to come a little bit easier for the Hilltoppers.
You know, Matt, especially if you're a team that has to play a lot of guys both ways, and you can just look down on the field, you can see how many more bodies Chardon has on their sideline compared to Dover. Chardon's just got the bigger roster, and they are so good at running clock and running the ball right at you, and really, when you play the Hilltoppers, it's a game, you get beat up in the game when you play Chardon. They will come at you hard, and they do such a good job of just wearing you out. If you got to send guys both ways, this is the way you're going to be exhausted in the fourth quarter. There's just no way around it.
Well, each team will be leaving this stadium tonight black and blue, but the Hilltoppers will take it. The handoff to Carr. Nice move. Carr on his feet down near the 16. Boy, Sean Carr saw an opening, made a good cut, and he picked up the first down, and now the Toppers inside the red zone. And Ryan, a touchdown here, very well may seal it.
Yeah, Carr makes a nice juke to his left there to find some space for a first down to move the chains. And that's, again, where, you know, in the first half, Dover was really swarming to those tackles. They probably tackled Sean Carr for a gain of about 2 in the first half. They're too tired right now. He ran by those 2 guys at the line of scrimmage to get into the secondary.
Toppers watching the play clock wind down. Now they will hand it off to Sean Carr. Sean Carr picking his way through some tornadoes up near the, I will say, the 13-yard line. And right now the Hilltoppers just continuing to watch that clock. It's 40 seconds between plays once the ball's set.
Yeah, but still, you pick up on the second effort about 4 yards there to set up second down and 6. And this game's just going exactly the way Chardon wanted to go. This is a Hilltopper fourth quarter here. Get the ball back, long drive, march down the field, run the football. Let the game run out on your opponent. What they did to Canfield a week ago. That's what they're doing tonight.
Peterson in motion. Henry keeps it himself, and Henry up near the 9 will be third down and short, depending on, well, it's going to be third down and short regardless, but going to be interesting where they spot this one. Looks like it may be the 9.
So that'll put them at about third down and 3, and you know, Dover's able to get in there and get a stop. You know, interestingly, kind of the more stops you get right now, if you're Dover, the more it plays into Chardon's hands, because the more that clock continues to run down here on this game.
6:40 and counting. Henry sends Pettyjohn in motion, and it's Henry who has it. Henry trying to get to that first down. He is close.
Yeah, I was going to say, the forward progress is close. I think it's going to come up just short. And I think the Hilltoppers are going to go for it.
They will mark the ball at the 7. He has to get just past the 6. And for Chardon, at this point, why go for the field goal? Just get the touchdown, because if you turn the ball over on downs here, that's a long way for Dover to go.
Well, yeah, and a field goal, it's still a 3-possession game because that would be 3/8 to get to 24. So you might as well go for it here. Try to make it a 4-possession game.
Give this to Carr. Goes ahead, and Carr inside the 5, down near the 3, maybe to the 2. And the Hilltoppers get the first down. And it's an and-goal situation.
And if you're the Hilltoppers, you have the big senior fullback, Sean Carr. So there's really no reason not to go for it on 4th and short.
Well, the Hilltoppers have been methodical on this drive. They have, as we've seen all playoffs long, done a good job of protecting the ball. And play clock running down to 7. They've got to hurry. Down to 5. Down to 4. They get the call off. The give is to Carr. Carr met at the line of scrimmage. Actually, might have gained a yard on that one.
A little bit of extracurricular. Official's going to let it go. Nice run there by Carr. 2nd down and goal. Remember, the longer this ball doesn't cross the plane, the longer the Hilltoppers run this game clock off.
Well, it's one of the things that, Ryan, they want to do.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's one of the, I think the one nice advantage here of these playoff games is you've got the play clock on the field. And Chardon, although I'll tell you what, they're cutting it a little bit close in terms of getting to the line, in my opinion. But they get to the line, they get set.
It's the past 2 plays now. They don't get to the line until there's less than 10 seconds left.
Handoff into the end zone. Touchdown! Carr again!
But it really doesn't matter. You give the ball to Sean Carr, scores his 23rd touchdown of the year. 2nd today.
The Hilltoppers have made it look easy tonight in this second half running the football. And it's all because of the hard work that they were putting in earlier in the game. But you go back farther. The hard work they've been putting in all week during practice. The hard work that they've been putting in training camp. The hard work they've been putting in the off season.
This is a team that in a lot of ways had a lot to prove, Matt. Last year they go to and win the state championship game, and all anyone could talk about is last year's senior class, for good reason. There's a lot of really good seniors down on the field, and I think that everyone talking about what Chardon had lost after last year really rallied them to come out here and play and show what they had this year. And they're knocking on the door of marching back into the state Final Four once again here now. And this is 2 really good teams that the Hilltoppers have had back-to-back, 2 really good senior classes. And you got some good, your quarterback's a junior, so you got some good looks coming here from the Hilltoppers.
Well, there's conventional wisdom that says if you're the guys that go up against the state champions in practice every day, that if you learn some things, you could be just as good as them.
Well, it sure looks like that is the case, and now these 2 senior classes back-to-back are working on a winning streak that sure looks like it's about to get extended to 26 victories in a row.
With 4:14 to go in this one, Hilltoppers up 31-3. That kick will go into the end zone for Tagger's 42nd touchback of the year. Winner of this one, by the way, gets the winner of West Holmes and Holy Name.
At halftime, West Holmes was winning that game 24-14. It's been a good playoff run for a Holy Name. They were a 6-4 team that was an 8 seed, and they find themselves in the Region 10 finals.
West Holmes is a very good football program. A Holy Name, you have to give them credit too. The Green Wave have had a good season. They've played a tough schedule as well. Dover, it's Aiden Hall in the game, looking to throw the ball down the field, and overshot everybody on that one.
The Holy Name plays a schedule as we get a look at the score. It says 24-21 West Holmes in the 3rd. but I think I just saw Holy Name put a tweet up that West Holmes had scored a touchdown, so there might be an update coming.
Yeah, I have 31-21 Holy Name, 2:19 to go in the third.
Yeah, so, I mean, but, yeah, Holy Name, similar to Chardon, they play a schedule where in their conference they play a lot of, schools a division up in Division II.
And, folks, I'm going to tell you, get out, assuming this score doesn't change and Hilltoppers come away with a victory, make sure you get out next week. Hall hit. He gets the throwaway. Farvington makes the catch. He stops. He goes backwards. And it's not what you want to see if you're Dover. Their top wide receiver just after the catch kept going backwards.
Yeah, the thing is, you're in your mindset, you're thinking, I need to get a play, I need to get yards, we're down 4 scores, but you don't want to go backwards and look for space. What you want to do is step out of bounds and find a way to keep things going. Because a bunch of extra yards doesn't help you much if it takes a bunch of time off the clock.
About 3:30 left in this one. Aiden Hall, the senior QB. And, we didn't even get to talk much about that today, but Hall and Molk in and out each series. It's been interesting. Ball up high, tipped and incomplete.
What's even more interesting, Matt, is that's not the first
And now a late flag comes out.
It's a personal foul. There's no reason for that. Coach Hewitt isn't going to like that.
Defense, number 53, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. 4th down, the down counted.
Hard to get too mad at a guy that has 3 sacks, but the coaching staff does not love taking a personal foul in this situation, Matt.
No. It's unfortunately 2 personal foul penalties against the Hilltoppers in this game. One that I could argue took a potential touchdown off the scoreboard.
Yes.
This one now gives the Tornadoes a 1st down. And, if this is a close game, all of a sudden you just gave your opponent a 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully you're up by 4 scores right now, but you're absolutely right. You could have gotten the ball back. That stop could have sealed the game, and instead you give them 1st down and put Dover out around midfield.
Aiden Hall looking through, has a man. It's Farvington on an under route across the 45 near midfield 50 out of bounds.
Well,
and the Hilltoppers have done a good job not turning the football over as of late, but the one thing you'd like to see them do is play a clean penalty-free game, as you're just now 2 games away from a potential state title game.
Yeah, and I don't know, Matt, it was so long ago now, but if you remember early in the year, they had a couple of games where there were really a lot of penalties. That has cleaned up. That's we're not seeing that like we were seeing early in the year, but yeah, those are a couple of personal foul penalties in this game, and you don't want to take those in playoff games. Now, you're dominating this one tonight, but you really don't want to have to take personal foul penalties in the playoffs.
1st and 10 from the 50. Aiden Hall going to hand it off McGarry. McGarry fell forward across the 49 to the 48-yard line. And he has had a quiet night, but you look at what the Hilltoppers defense has done all season long, and they have made it very difficult for opposition running backs to have good games. Outside of that a game against Akron East where that freshman just torched them, it's been tough running for most running backs.
It really has. I mean, when you look at what they've done all year long, you really got to give that kid from Akron East credit for rushing for over 100 against Chardon. They don't give up 100 yards to running backs, and I don't think they have since either. And once again, they've really dominated the running game, and they make you one-dimensional. And once you're one-dimensional against Chardon, you're really done.
2:20 and counting here. Hall has time, looking to throw over the middle. It is caught in a big stick. And now a flag comes out. Brody Dotson just put his shoulder down.
It might be this is going to be tough. I think Brody Dodson's about to take a tough one.
Personal foul. Illegal helmet contact. Defense. 15-yard penalty.
They're going to say illegal helmet contact, but it looked like Dotson used his shoulder, at least from our viewpoint up here in the press box.
Well, he certainly wasn't trying to use his head. He used his shoulder, but I mean, the rule is it's that helmet contact. That helmet contact is illegal, so, even if he wasn't looking for it, that's the 2nd personal foul penalty on this drive. 3rd of the game against the Hilltoppers, and just fortunate they're happening in a game where you have the 31-3 lead here.
Chardon going to call a timeout here with 1:51 to go. We'll take a timeout here on GTV. Tornadoes have a 1st and 10 now from the 17. Aiden Hall looking to throw toward the end zone. It's tipped up and it's intercepted at the 2, to the 10, the 15. And the Hilltoppers get the big pick down inside the end zone. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure who came away with it, but good job to get the tip up and get it down there, and you end up returning it back and getting in second interception of the day for these Hilltoppers.
I think that was Ethan Gaspar who was in the game.
I was going to say, I thought I noticed maybe a few of the second unit players out there on that play. It's Gaspar who comes away with the interception. And it got tipped initially too, so good work there by the Hilltoppers. Second interception today. A couple more turnovers to add to their list for the season.
Hilltoppers in victory formation here. Zorn takes the knee. So Chardon just looking to run this clock out here. What a game it has been, Ryan. The Hilltoppers came in facing an undefeated Dover Tornado squad, and they have played a wonderful ball game tonight.
So they came in here facing a Dover team that was right at the top of D3 Region 9 with them all year long, and the Hilltoppers dominated this game tonight. They really did. A couple of big plays. The first 2 plays of the game were big for Dover. Pretty much all Chardon after that, in a dominating 31-3 win. Never really a moment of doubt today.
Indeed, Hilltoppers, I think they will be good to go here. Folks, we will invite you to stick around because we're going to have the trophy presentation. So stick around. The final seconds waning off the clock here. Toppers win the regional championship with a 31-3 victory over Dover. We'll be right back on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Killies Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Welcome back, everyone. GTV, Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. And Ryan, another dominating performance by the Hilltoppers. We saw them play some great offense, and the defense did what we've become accustomed to all year long in limiting a very good Tornado offense.
Yeah, it was just a great day for the defense, and after giving up one big play initially, held them to a field goal on an opening drive and never let another point cross the board again. Come up with 2 big interceptions today. And, the offense took care of business again. It's an offense that's really rounded into form here, and they're playing very well as we head into the state Final Four. Alex Henry looked great down there managing the game tonight, and he did a great job on the ground as well, picking up a ton of yards. Good work for Alex Henry. Sean Carr, 2 more touchdowns today, and we continue to see the growth in that offense of Pettyjohn as well with a couple of big runs.
With that, we are going to take a timeout and throw it down to the on-field festivities. Stick around, all that's coming up here on GTV.
Congratulations. Stand over
We're taking it home, don't worry. Well, it's been, 18 years since we've had a gobble-gobble practice. You've earned it, man. I mean, it's also been since 1994 that it's the first time that a Hilltopper team has been what? What's our record? 14-0. Say it again. 14-0. 14-0. 26 straight, 14-0, and we bought ourselves another week together. We bought ourselves another week. I couldn't be more proud of you. This is the class that was sort of like, it was the forgotten class, right? It was, we won our title in 2020. We graduated 26. No way, I heard it so many times, no way it's going to be a down year. They're going to have to rebuild. No. It's legacy season, fellas. It lasts eternally. What you're going to do the next 14 days. Let's go get it. Amen. Enjoy it with your community. Be smart. I'd say there's a lot at stake, right? So be smart. Enjoy your friendships, because these times and these moments, they don't last forever. It's going to go fast, fellas. You've been going for 17 weeks. 17 weeks. We need 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, 14 days. That's
8
it,
quarters, fellas.
8 quarters. Let's do
8
it.
quarters.
Let's do it. Let's proclaim it. Let's speak it into being. Let's go get a title. Let's go get a ring.
Hey, guys, today, I turned on the film of us doing sit-ups in Lake Erie with Toddy and all the crazy people, Cam, and I just thought, wow, this is really comforting. We're gonna roll these guys.
It's what you do, right? No, seriously, guys. I scroll through my camera roll and I see what we do to you. From that winter workout, remember that with sledding, and there was people tackling over in the woods and running through it, and then we do the alpines, the lifted. It's why we're here. It's why you're building a legacy. Congratulations. Let's get out of here. Let's go home.
What's my motto today? What? Turkey dinner on 3. 1, 2, 3. Turkey dinner.
Well, the Hilltoppers, big winners tonight, 31-3, as they win their 2nd straight regional championship game.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic for them. The winning streak is to 26 now. What a great effort from this group of players to come up and get back to the state Final Four once again this year.
Well, the march to week 16 continues. There will be a week 15, and you know what that means? Turkey practice.
That's right. Turkey practice is the best practice because it means you've made it pretty far in the season.
I want to say thank you for joining us today here on GTV. Thanks going out to our cameraman. We had Spencer, director Brian Foster as well. Brett back keeping us up and on the air at Master Control. Executive producer Dave Jevnikar, and for my partner, Ryan Radke, I am Matt Jaworski. On behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best.